Good day, dear students. Welcome to our subject, Understanding Culture, Society, and Politics. So for today's video, we are going to focus on the topic socialization. Lesson objectives. At the end of the lesson, learners are expected to define socialization, analyze each agent of socialization, and understand the impact of socialization on how it shapes their own values and culture. So before we proceed with our topic, let us have a lesson recall. So for our previous lesson, we discussed about cultural relativism and ethnocentrism. So cultural relativism refers to an objective analysis of one's own culture, seeing and understanding of one's beliefs and traditions from his or her own point of view. For example, joining the dance festival of Baguio City even though you are not from Baguio. Next is ethnocentrism. This is the view that one's own cultural elements such as norms, values, ideology, customs, and traditions are dominant and superior to others. Example of being ethnocentric, feeling that you have no accent or what we call the Bisaya accent. That behavior shows an ethnocentric behavior. Okay, so let's analyze this image. This image features a Facebook status from a FB owner, wherein the FB owner shows her picture showing uh, she is in the beach area. So it's like informing all her friends that she is currently enjoying the beach. So, question, what does this picture mean to us? It means people nowadays use social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and even TikTok to express their feelings. So, in doing so, they feel they are part of a community. What does socialization means? Socialization is a continuous process which serves as an avenue for developing self-concept, which is essential in role identification. It's a lifelong process of learning of the rules, norms, and values of your community. So it's a bit like learning the rules of the game. You can't really play effectively if you don't understand how it works. Analyze these pictures. So this image shows pictures from a wedding reception, a place in an office or workplace, students in the school, and multimedia or social network like Facebook and TikTok. So these pictures represents the agents of socialization. So what exactly are agents of socialization? So, simply put, these are the key institutions, groups, and individuals that influence your development and help you navigate the maze of societal norms, customs, and expectations. Simply put, these are the different influences that shape you into the person you are today. They are like the architects of your identity, sketching out the blueprint of how you think, how you feel, and how you interact with the world. So, an important part of socialization and enculturation processes are the social groups, which are called agents of socialization. So, the results of socializations are great because they establish our identity. So, we are guided on how to act in a socially acceptable ways. And because of socialization, we acquire culture that may improve us as individuals. And we call that enculturation. So enculturation is the process by which people learn the dynamics of their surrounding culture and acquire values and norms appropriate or necessary to that culture and its worldviews. Agents of socialization are the coaches guiding you throughout this game of life. It's it's not just one or two things that mold you. Multiple agents work together, each contributing a unique place to the puzzle that is you. Some are more obvious, like your family or school, while others, such as multimedia, religion, or church, work, workplace, or the government, are more subtle. So, what kind of emotional and practical support a person receives will be influenced by what agents they have in their lives. For instance, parents, social class influences children's behavior because it will contribute to how much time and attention the parents can spend with their child. So there are also formal and informal social institutions. Formal social institutions are things like schools and religious institutions, while social or the informal social institutions are things like peer group, multimedia, and a society's material culture. So, ages of socializations are people, groups, and social institutions that affect one's self-concept, attitudes, and behaviors. For example, our parents, our teachers, the priest or pastors, television personalities, celebrities, rock stars, etc. So these ages of socialization teach people what society expects of them. They tell them what is right and wrong, and they give them the skills they need to function as members of their culture. So additionally, an agent of socialization can either be a primary or a secondary agent. So primary agents of socialization includes people with whom we have a close, intimate relationships. These are parents and usually occur when people are very young. The family is usually considered the primary agents of socialization. In school, peer group, and the mass media are considered secondary socialization agencies. So, secondary agents of socialization are groups or institutions that influence an individual's socialization process after or alongside primary agents like your family. So, they include secondary relationships, but this does not include the close, personal, or intimate relationships, and function to liberate the individual from a dependence upon the primary attachment and relationships formed within the family group. This is emphasized by Parson in 1951. So, primary ages of socializations, like your family, are the early and immediate influencers in your life. So, they lay down the basics and give you your first sense of identity. On the other hand, secondary ages of socialization naman, such as schools and your peer group, come into play as you grow and begin to step out into the world. While primary agents set the foundation, the secondary agents add complexity, challenging and building upon the initial values and beliefs you have absorbed coming from your primary agents, your family. Now we explore the different philosophers or sociologists' view on socialization. We start with Sigmund Freud. So his theory is about the psychoanalytic theory. For him, unconscious mind shape the behavior of a person. So the formation of the self occurs between the ID and the superego. The influence of society happens in superego. For John Piaget, his theory is about cognitive development theory. For him, socialization happens in different stages of our mind's development, from infancy to adolescence or adulthood. Next is Lawrence Kohlberg. Lawrence Kohlberg's theory is about a moral development theory. For him, it is a continual process that occurs throughout our lifespan. Next is George Herbert Mead's. His theory is about theory of the social self. For him, he believed that the self emerges from social interactions. And for Charles Cooley, the Cooley's theory of looking glass self, wherein we learn to take the role of others. The expectations of others forms the venue for acquiring social roles. Socialization as a continuous process serves as an avenue for developing self-concept, which is essential in role identification. So the self responds to categories we call social statuses. The child must learn the categories or statuses by which to identify or define himself or herself, like being a daughter, a friend, or a student. So status is a term that is used often in sociology. So broadly speaking, there are two kinds of status: ascribed and achieved status. So each can refer to one's position or role within a social system: a child, parent, pupil, or student, playmate, etc., or to one's economic or social position within that status. So achieved status, these are the one that is acquired on the basis of merit. It is a position that is earned or chosen and reflects a person's skills, abilities, and efforts. So, by being a professional athlete, for example, is an achieved status, as is being a lawyer, a college professor, or even a criminal. So, for ascribed status, on the other hand, um, this is beyond an individual's control. So it is not earned, but rather it is something people are either born with or had no control over. For example, this includes the sex, race, or age. So children usually have more ascribed statuses than adults since they do not usually have choice in most matters. So a family social status or socioeconomic status, for instance, would be an achieved status for adults but as ascribed status for children. So homelessness might also be another example. So for adults, homelessness often comes by way of achieving, or rather not achieving. So for children, however, homelessness is not something they have any control over. So their economic status or lack thereof is entirely dependent on their parents' actions. Generalization. Socialization is a continuing process of social interaction through which people acquire their identities, values, culture, and skills in society. Socialization converts man, the biological being, into man, a social being. An important part of socialization and enculturation processes are the social groups, which are called the agents of socialization. For our post activity, create a list or table of the people who have influenced you in your life. And how do these agents help shape your values and culture? You can put your answer using the table sample below. Okay, so this ends our tutorial video. This ends my video for today. Thank you for liking and subscribing to my channel. I hope to see you on our next tutorial video. Bye!